Hello everyone. In this video I will let you explain to you the strokes about the strokes. Regularly in paintings, it is just usually derived into the painting world. The stroke refers to the mark or lines created by a brush when applying to the surface. So it is just like the connection of the brush onto its floor, onto its surface. It is just usually appeared. And just over for that, there is a lot more than one brush we have. For an example, firstly, the flat brush, the filbert brushes, filbert, Filbert, filbert brush, the angular brush also consists of the angled brush or angular, the conical brushes, the fine lining brush, the fan brush, and at the end, round brush. And there is also considered this brush more smaller detailing brush it will become fine lining or detailing brush. So these kind of brushes are consistently used for it. So for firstly the strokes we just need to have to understand about the brushes too. So now I will let you tell you about the strokes. So one with come first with the this brush, flat brush. So flat stroke I will tell you about it. So flat strokes which is usually made with the help of flat brushes. It is just usually seen into the name flat stroke, so which produces a bold, which produces a bold rectangular shape, which usually shows a strong one but with the boldness into it inside of it. So I am using the red color for an example, just for an example, to produce a flat into it. So this is called the strokes, the line basically. I can create very low. If I create it slowly, very slowly, so it will be appears broaded, not that much broad, but it is very thin in nature. But if I just make it long, make it hold it very hard, so it will be appears too much long. So good for blocking large areas and background washes, and it also shows it we can make into it just by making some shapes also. Likewise I am over there creating a shape of a rectangle. It is just shown. So this is called a shape of a this is called the flat brush stroke. Usage: it is usually used in the skies, walk, walls, and basic shapes. It is just usually used. I will write it up over there for you, to which you will get to be able to understand what I am just applying it over there. So I will be write it over there. Flat brush. Now, just after that, the round brush will be appeared, which is consist of round strokes basically. So for that, as work with the name, you very well know aware of it now. It made with a round brushes, which creates a smooth or even though straight line I can create, zigzag, 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 I can create. It is just usually scenes over that. Creates a smooth rounded mark. So For the roundedness, you can see if I make it bolded, so you can see the rounds covered it up over there, rounds covered it up. I can make some round ones also over there like that, so their stylization goes like this. Or even though, because this is very flat in nature and we can create boxes, but we from this I can create a full-fledged circle like this. I can create a circle. So it is just usually used for making petals, leaves, curves, and some out of the outlines. So I can create leaves also from that, some flowers I can create. It is just like that. We can't do with the flat brushes. So I will write it up over there in front of you, through which you will get understand how is the use of the round strokes. Round strokes. So you know very well, we already understand the flat brush and the round brush, but how we just use it with the color and water. If we didn't use any kind of water into it, so how does it comes? So it will become dry strokes. Just for an example, I will just show you that. But if on over this side, I will gonna just take very dry brush, just like new one brushes I take, and very little onto it, and I would like to take it very lower than this, over downside of it. Load very little paint on a brush. Just look at a dry brush. Creates very rough. So you can see it created very rough textures. It is just not seen on the bright rounded strokes. So it will be just shown up like that. It is just shown like that. It is just usually used for making some grasses, it is just usually used for some grasses over there. Grasses, rough textured, sketchy reflections, textures, old wood, rock surfaces, it is usually used. Then we already know about wash and wet strokes. Large brush with diluted paint into it, through which it will make the surfaces like watercolor surfaces, or even though the transparent layers, it is just shown stuff. So I will write it up over there in front of you. Dry brushes, or even though dry brush strokes, I will write. So after that, I will keep him away. Over this side, I will just draw it up over there. So if I took more water in my brushes, over this side and over this side, I take very less amount of water inside of it. But if I add more water in my brushes, in my color, it becomes likewise the percentage of water is more than my color, so it will be shows up like this. I will just write it up, make it up over there. You can see the surface it becomes likewise this. It is just shown up over there. So it is just like that. The watery sense inside of it. Large brush with diluted paint, smooth transparent layer, usage, watercolor backgrounds, soft gradients, it is just used. We can see the transparency, we can see the paper also. Over there, we can't see the paper. So transparency cannot came, so it becomes opaque that over that area, but this area becomes very lesser than that. I will write it up over there in front of you. The wet strokes, wet or wash strokes. I will write it up. So after that, cross hatching strokes. How does it use? Likewise, overlapping at angles. So all those brush can be used in spite of flat brush and the flat strokes and round strokes. Every brush can be used on it. It's just to have likewise we can do anything from that. But in spite of this, just like same as the round stroke, just like for making the cross hatching stuffs. For making the cross hatching stuffs, we just have to need to be. I will make it up over there in front of you. Just like making some angles. Just like that, making some angles. It will be shows up like that. Like making some use of like pens. It creates shades and depth, like shadows, detailed textures. It just shows up. It is very rarely used in the paintings because that is not that much very likewise varies on it. Cross hatching. It is generally used in the pen works sometimes. After that, the scumbling stroke, circular motions with the nearly dry brushes. So if I took my dry brushes over there and try to create just little tip of it should be the colorful. I take it up and now I will just try to make a circular motions. Oh, I will just show it up over there. Likewise this. It will become like a like a scribbling kind of things. It is just shown. Creates cloudy, soft, misty effects. Usage: clouds, smoke, fog, add atmospheric depth. Scumbling strokes. Then stripling. You are even aware of it, the striplings, what is the cause of? So the cause, it will goes off with like by making some, just we have to use on the tips and use it over there. Likewise, dip, 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 dip. Just like making some crowds often inside of it. Dip, 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 dip. It will be cause of through which it will become the proper strokes of our dot-like marks using the tip of the brushes. Builds textures gradually. Usage: gravels, skin textures, foliage for making some flower drains. So it is just shown up over there, or likewise a stain we can make into it. So it is like that, or like a stripes of an animal. It can be seen in any essence. So it is just like that. It is this is very used for the detailing work. This one and this one. I will write it up in front of you. The stripling. Stripling you can say, or either be stippling strokes, and then fan brush. Now this brush is usually used. Fan brush strokes, or I can say fan strokes. So fan strokes means using a fan brush for soft spreading effect. If I took my fan brush like this, or I can create from that kind of brush, I just have to hold it like that for making and or even the effects for that, making some grass effects. I can create some grass effects onto it. It is just usually used for that. Using a fan brush for soft spreading effects. So now I will just use it in front of you to make ink soft and very spready effect. I can create someone's hairs onto it or someone's hairs lines onto it. So it is just like that. Can be shown off or like a proper effect into it. So, using a fan brush for soft spreading effects, usages grasses, hairs, fur, foliage, reflections, it is just shown of. I will write it up over there in front of you. Fan strokes. Now, on the another shape of it from the filbert brushes, I will show you the effect of filbert strokes. So for an example, if I took for my filbert brush and tried to create like this, so you can see the rounded effect onto it. I can create some kind of flowers with the help of it. So it is like a petals formation, big one petals I can create into it. It is just like that. This is called the filbert strokes. So this is like that, and after of it I will just change it up my paper and shift it upon it. So as you can see, if I will just make it write it up over there in front of you, just making some more effect onto it. Likewise, by creating the use of angular brushes. So angular brushes are mostly generally used for the effect of making the branches or for making the effect of leaves is generally used. For an example, if I try to make an effect of a bamboo tree, just like straight lines over there, and after that more straight lines, just like that, I can create a full-fledged bamboo with the help of the strokes. It is just like that. After that, some leaves from the help of strokes. I don't know the bamboos has some leaves or not, but I will make it up over there for the better understanding onto it. So these all are the kinds of things will be shown off over there. So we can create with the help of the filbert, with the help of the angular brush, or even though we can create some kind of the different shapes we can. So it is just like a brother of our flat brushes. It is just like that, as you can understand. You can say that. So I will just write it up over there in front of you. Filbert, sorry, angular strokes. Again, I will just show you about mine. Filbert brushes, use of filbert brush. So how it can be used, how we can apply it over. So for an example, if I want to try to create some flowers, so flowers will be can be came up like that, just on the center part of it, just like that. We can create it through it. It is just like that. Oh, the strokes goes with the drive strokes. We cannot create it, but we can create long one grasses into it. So it is just like kind of a rules. It means that there is no rules inside of it, but yeah, how the use of the strokes we can. So it is just shown up over there. So this is called filbert strokes. After that, at the end of it, fine lining brushes contained. So fine lining brushes is used for the too much detailing stuff. Just like if I want some person's eyes, I will just take my filbert brush and try to create someone's eyes. Or even though I can create a fish too. I don't know what is my fishes look like. It's like a proper dog. But yeah, here's some fins. Here is some fins over there. So I can create even then names also, like that. I will write it up my name over there. So through which it is just like that. I can create anything from that. So that is kind of the stroke of it, the fine lining brushes. So I already told you about, but I will just fastly cover it up also. Strokes is like referring to the marks or lines created by brushes when applying paint to the brush. Flat brushes. Flat brushes usually use sorry. Flat brushes usually use made with flat strokes usually made with the help of flat brushes. Produces a bold rectangular shapes, good for blocking large areas and background washes. Usage: skies, walls, basic shapes. Second one, round brushes. Made with a round brush, basically round strokes made with round brushes. Create a smooth, rounded mark that tapers at the ends. Usage: petal, leaves, curves, outlines. Dry brush, as you can see over there, downside. So where are you? Downside. Load very little paint on a dry brush. Creates a rough textured, scratchy, reflective. Usage: grass textures, old wood, rock surfaces. After that, wash or wet strokes. Large brush with a diluted paint, smooth transparent layer. For example, usages in watercolor backgrounds, soft gradients. In spite of this, the cross-hatching strokes, overlapping strokes at angles creates shading and depth. Usage: shadows, detailed textures. Then scumbling strokes, circular or scumbling motions with a nearly dry brush creates cloudy, soft, misty effects. Usage: clouds, smoke, fog, atmospheric depth. then stippling strokes. Dot-like marks using the tip of the brushes builds the textures gradually. Usage, graver, skin textures and foliage. After that, the fan brushes. Oh, where are you? The fan strokes basically. Using a fan brush for a soft spreading effects. Usage, grass, hair, fur, foliage reflections also appears. After that, I will just show you now. Angular strokes. Angular strokes are generally used for the making some trees, branches, or even some leaves. It is generally used, or sometimes it is used for the flowers. But it is just like making some zigzagging patterns. After that, filbert strokes. Filbert strokes are generally used for the strokes for making some floral effects. Just like it is just called, can be called floral strokes, can be. So it is just like that. And at the end of it, some tips. Vary pressures firstly. Light pressure means thin layers, thin lines. Light pressure means thin lines. Heavy pressures means thick lines. Control moisture is also very necessary. Wet brush for smooth strokes, dry brush for only textures. As you can see, I use over there some textures and some smooth layers. Practice directions. Strokes. Practice strokes in all directions: vertical, horizontal, diagonal, curved, straight. Experiment with brush types: flat, round, filbert, fan, angular brushes. You can understand it in very well, all the brushes you just have to use. Use your wrist and arm sweeping. Wrist, basically wrist is used for small strokes, but if we use with the help of the arm, we will just have to be able to make some long strokes. So it is just like that. All the things is vary depends on the how you handle it and how you apply it on its surface areas. It is just like that. Otherwise, we can do anything from that. So thank you very much. In which I tried to explain it to you about the strokes, and yeah, also the lining brush. Lining brush is like a detailings only, detailing strokes. It is generally used, or even though you can try to make some rashes or some hair lines, just like some baby hairs, or maybe it can be possible. You can try to make it up, just like mustachio of a lion, mustachio of a cat, dog. You can create from that. Basically, like a hair strokes, we can draw from the lining brushes. So this is for the today's session in which I explained to you all about the strokes. Thank you very much for attending this session, attending this half an hour session in which I tell you all about the strokes, how to use it, how to explain it. Just like flat brush strokes, round strokes, dry brush strokes, wet strokes, cross hatching strokes, scrambling strokes, stripling strokes, fan brush strokes, angular strokes, filbert strokes, and at the end, the lining strokes. So it is just like that, and I will meet you soon on the just next video. Thank you very much.